So I've been going over this, thinking about this for the last week. I'm going to need another one too. I've been thinking about this and going over this for the last week and a half. And you ever have those times when it's already starting? You start to think of a memory of something that happened in the past, and then you dwell on it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, kind of triggers another memory, and then another one, and another one, and another one. And so this has happened this whole week, where I'm so grateful for what God's done in our family and our life, and I'm going to try to share this without doing this the whole time. And I can't even see my thing because my eyes are watering so bad, which is great. So Courtney and I, we got married at a very young age, kind of like half the people in this church, actually. It was kind of the rarity back then. So we're going on 20 years in April. And we had a 5-year plan. I think just about everybody had the 5-year plan. Courtney was going to go to college, get her degree. I was going to work. She was going to get done, start working. And then I was going to go to college and do all that kind of stuff, make a ton of money, and everything was going to be great. Well, the problem was 3 months after we were married, we got pregnant with Samuel, our oldest. And Courtney got really sick, the morning pregnancy stuff, and so she got a half semester of Bible college in, and she was done. And then after Samuel's born, 13 months later, here comes Silas. And then 2 years after that, here comes Adelie. So we've got 3 kids. We're young 20s. Well, she's young 20s. I was like 25-ish at the time. No college degrees. The only thing we knew how to do, Courtney worked at C's Candy. I, by that time, was a manager at Papa Murphy's making fat stacks. We're talking $23,000 a year. And it was sweet. We're like, woo, made it. Working 70, 80 hours a week and making it work, and then going and working for my brother doing construction. And so we've scraped and we've pushed and we pressed and we did all this stuff. And life was crazy. We had so many people tell us, you're not going to make it. You guys are going to go broke. You're going to get divorced. Your marriage is not going to last. And all this stuff all the time. And if you know Snailums, we're very proud people. And we will do whatever we have to do to prove people wrong. So once we have something set in our head that this is the way it's going to be, we're going to do it. It doesn't matter what gets thrown at us, we just do it. We're very proud about that. That's, we play games with anybody. I mean, Andy talks about being one of the best game players. He hasn't beat us yet. And so, because it's a whole nother level when you play the Snailums. So, all of this I say, so the kids are really young. 2008 comes around. We're like, sweet, let's start a business. 2008. We start it and end it that quick because market crashed. So we're like, oh, this is horrible. Long story short, we decide, there's a church plant that's going to be moving to Spokane in 2008, 2009. We pray about it. We're like, all right, let's go. At this time, we're living in this house that we nicknamed the Mouse House because it was infested with mice. And I kid you not, you open the drawers, you open the cabinets, and mice were crawling out. We had to put the silverware on top of the microwave because they had tracks and everything in. We had exterminators come, and they're like, this house is a lost cause. There's nothing we can do for it. So we're like, we're living in this thing. We're like, screw it. We're going to Spokane. And we get to Spokane on one application that my wife turns in, lands a job for both of us. We get this apartment that was a 900 square foot apartment, and to us, it felt like a palace. It was brand new, no mice in the cabinets, and we didn't have to worry about anything happening to our kids at this house. We didn't have to worry about a mouse crawling on them or biting them or something, or mice getting in our food. We didn't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. And so God started blessing us and showing us these little tiny things to be grateful for, to have this gratitude. So then the church starts. I end up being the worship leader and the youth pastor when we get going. And our kids did everything with us. When we were leading youth, our kids didn't go to the babysitter. They were in the youth group with us. They were kind of like the youth mascots. If we went and spoke at a summer camp, Silas always came with us. If we went to, wherever we went, whatever we did, our kids were right there. And Natalie, go ahead and play this video. This is what our house was like right here. But so this is, here, go ahead and hold that one, Addie. Actually, yeah, just go ahead and put that one up. That's fine. So this is what we grew up with in our house. We didn't have money. We've never been able to go on a family vacation. We've never been able to afford it. We've always made just enough money to almost pay our bills. Almost. Every single month. But what we had is we had all of these moments at our house where I'm putting a worship list together for a Sunday, and here comes Silas with this Lightning McQueen guitar that was $30 that almost broke the bank just buying it. And Adelie has this little Princess keyboard that she'd come and play. And then, I fast forward and I looked today. And I've got my son up here playing drums and singing. I have Adelie every week singing with me on the stage. And we did a song last week called You Won't Relent, and it's one that my daughter grew up singing with me on the couch with her little keyboard. And so I think of those moments, and I wouldn't give them up for anything. I'm like, yeah, I wish that I'd be able to spend thousands on my kids. I wish that I could pour out just money on their birthdays and on Christmas. And I don't get that opportunity because we just make enough to almost pay our bills. When we moved to Texas, and it's the same thing. Awesome things are happening here. We get here. Silas told the story about the house and how we got into that house. And, we get here and we're dealing with past hurts from Spokane. Because what I didn't tell you is while we were at that church, we got so emotionally abused and hurt and broken, we didn't want anything to do with God. We're like, God, you moved us to Spokane to do what? And then Andy and Carrie call us and they're like, hey, we want to start a church in Texas. And I've told you guys this before. We're like, great, we'll send you money. And then we're like, no, we owe it to him. We got to at least pray and see. And God said, no, it's time to go. And so we had two choices. We could say, you know what? Either we're going to serve Jesus and do what God's telling us to do, or we can stay in the boat we were in and just say, screw it, and not do it. So obviously we moved here. Everything's been awesome. We started a business. We were doing good. And then for some reason, September and October hit, and then we're right back in that same boat where we're like, man, we're just barely making it. We're almost paying our bills. And everything is going just insane. And I have this fridge that's leaking when you try to use the water dispenser. It leaks all over the floor. And we have this dryer that's all of a sudden, making all these weird noises, like the bearings are going out. And then Silas had to open it up and hand spin it a couple times to get it working. And we're like, you know what, we'll replace them when we can replace them, which is probably going to be never because we're not making enough money to even pay our own bills. So 2 days ago, this is how God works. 2 days ago, I got a message, hey, there's somebody that wants to give these appliances. Do you know anybody that needs them? And Courtney's like, we need them. And normally we would be like, no, somebody else can use them, but we needed them. Ours are dying and leaking and all this. So we get this, we go over, we pick these up. This fridge is like beyond fridge. It's like beyond what you'd ever imagine. The washing machine is practically brand new. The dryer is brand new. And we get these things to my house, and I just lose it. I'm like, God, I'm struggling with these bills and not seeing you go help me in all of these things. I'm not seeing the people sign these contracts on these jobs. God, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, he slams me with these things and goes, see, I got your back. And so I'm going to close on this verse. Man, 10 minutes goes fast. Holy crap. All right, so Joshua 24:15. So this is the last part of that verse. It says, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And to understand what this is, if you read that whole chapter in context from the beginning of it, it says that he's gathering the leaders, the elders, pretty much everybody that's the head of the tribes of Israel. And he's having this come to Jesus moment with everybody. And he has this word from God that he gives and basically tells them, hey, you remember what I did with Abraham. Do you remember not too long ago, we just came out of Egypt? You remember what I did at the Red Sea? You remember all these things. Why are you going back to the other people? Why are you going back? And then Joshua says, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. We're going to move forward. And I want to challenge you guys with that today because we have these moments that take place. God, I wish I had more time. We have moments like this that we have decisions that we have to make when it comes to serving Jesus. We can either deny him. We can either say, you know what, God, you're not doing anything for me. Why should I serve you? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? It was easier doing the other thing. But something happens when you decide, you know what, I'm going to follow Jesus. Whatever it comes, whatever it brings, whatever it looks like, I'm going to follow Jesus. And then all of a sudden you have this attitude of gratitude. And it's not an easy road. I will tell you that we've been through it all. It's been nuts. It's been crazy. It's beyond what we'd ever think it was going to be, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So I just want to close with that, guys. You know, you guys have a choice to make. You know, we're in that Thanksgiving, the holiday season right now. We have a choice that we got to make. You know, do we want to bless people? Do we want to lay it all down and just say, you know what, I'm going to have an attitude of gratitude and put other people first? Or am I going to put myself first? So I'm going to leave it with that.